Notice that people take a mistake, and a huge one, when they portray something as non-confrontational. They call non-confrontational as, for example, a person that says something only 3 months later. Okay, let's play out a situation. This is a Bubsy, okay, and he's non-confrontational. And this is Bobsy, and Bobsy is, let's say, the people's perception of non-confrontational. They're both very interesting in their own way, though. But, like, yeah, okay. Bubsy and Bobsy. Both non-confrontational. One by the actual understanding of it, and the other by the common. Okay? Like the common how people are describing frequently, and it's mistaken. So, a situation, let's say, Bubsy and Bobsy both have a situation in their relationship, whether that's friendship. 12:21 on the clock, very interesting. Whether that's a twin flame, sorry, mirrored soul connection, or just a soul mirror, twin soul. Let's say a Bubsy and Bobsy have a thing in their relationship, whether friendship, whether a romantic relationship, and there's an important thing to say that really bothers Bubsy. First of all, okay, and really bothers Bobsy. Let's say, okay, could be different situations, and yet, okay. So Bubsy is non-confrontational by the actual meaning of it. And what is Bubsy going to do? Bubsy is going to go to Bobsy and say, "Hey, Bobsy, there's this one thing. I don't really know how to tell you this, but we'll figure this out. And I I'd like to just discuss things as we usually do. Let's discuss things, and let's talk about our opinions or thoughts about certain different things. Bobsy, you're my friend, Bobsy, and I care about your feelings, and I want to know what you think about certain topics, and I will listen to you, Bobsy." This is non-confrontational. Okay. This is non-confrontational. Bobsy isn't being non-confrontational. Also, the shy approach is to not only diplomatic. So, what is non-confrontational? Tending to deal with situations calmly and diplomatically, not aggressive or hostile. Okay. So, it's like, let's just discuss things calmly. That's what Bobsy wants to do, and Bobsy is non-confrontational. Could be also like, non-confrontational can also be exaggeratedly taken as like shy personality or introverted personality, okay? That could be like extra traits to non-confrontational. The sum up of these mixed traits, okay? Yeah. So, Bobsy. The common meaning that people take as non-confrontational. Bobsy, on the other side, has decided to not bring up a topic that bothers Bobsy for a few months. The topic could be super important, could really bother Bobsy. Bobsy could be bottling things up. But Bobsy decided to deal with this important topic that Bobsy knows would potentially affect their relationship with the Bobsy. Okay? Bobsy knows this. But Bobsy decides to not talk about the topic, but to deal with it themselves. Okay? And to not bring up the topic for either several weeks or months or even 3 months or more, and deal with the problem themselves. Okay? And Bobsy could literally have unresolved trauma, irrational fears, things that Bobsy needs to work on therapeutically, to perhaps self-help, read some books about the topic, gain some wisdom, understand that some fears are irrational, or understand where they come from, if they're rational. Okay? Bobsy needs actual support, advice to get through that scheme that's in Bobsy's head that creates this type of response that Bobsy thinks they can go on for several weeks or 3 months or more. Okay. Several months, I don't know, about the topic. And this is what people frequently and mistakenly refer to as non-confrontational. But this is not being non-confrontational. I already explained people have some unresolved things within them that prevent them to speak up and to feel more confident, and as a result, they're not being non-confrontational. Non-confrontational is what Bobsy is. Bobsy, though, here, is deceptive. Bobsy is being deceptive. AKA hiding things that are very important could be very crucial, and Bobsy could know this very well, but decides to hide things from Bobsy. Decides to not bring up things at all, even in, let's say Bobsy could have a problem with being very direct, okay, but Bobsy could bring up things in a sliding type of manner, like try to approach the topic step by step, okay? Right? They don't have to just go and say it right on, okay? Bobsy could have difficulties to say that, Everyone has their own difficulties, but Bobsy could approach the topic so step by step, but instead, Bobsy is not being non-confrontational, and it's important. Bobsy chooses to be deceptive. And it's a choice. Even if it's controlled by irrational factors, it's a choice. Because Bobsy could go and seek self-help and with assistance, support from external specialist that knows how to deal with these things well, right? Bobsy could take these things in a better approach, but instead Bobsy chooses to be deceptive. Okay? And that damages any type of a relationship that Bobsy has, now and further on, until Bobsy chooses to gain that wisdom, work on themselves, okay? Until that, the only non-confrontational is Bobsy. Okay? And this is what people need to understand. The difference. Bobsy is the one that's non-confrontational, actually. Tending to deal with situations calmly and diplomatically, okay? Whether very shy or very introverted or less introverted, less shy, but calm and diplomatic, okay? But Bobsy is being deceptive. And each one of these is a choice that we can make. Bobsy could be very well so afraid as Bobsy is. Do not equate somebody being deceptive as being more afraid than this one who's non-confrontational in this particular topic. Don't equate it to that. Bubsy could have had plenty of things that Bubsy is scared about to bring up the topic. However, Bubsy chooses the non-confrontational approach, whether to step by step bring up the topic or just say immediately in a non-confrontational way, calmly and diplomatically, right, to discuss the topic brought up. And the sense of how Bubsy feels about something, the topic, what Bubsy thinks about the topic, and how Bubsy perceived the topic. Because Bubsy could be wrong too, Same as Bubsy could be wrong. That doesn't matter. But what matters is a choice. And what matters is the definition of it. What means being non-confrontational and what means being deceptive. And both is a choice that each of us makes. And don't equate it to one having less fear than the other or less terrible experiences than the other. Okay? That doesn't really equate to that. It doesn't. In the end of the day, it really equates to the choice one makes for their own lives, because further on, Bubsy will ruin much more relationships by being deceptive. Because deception is a big blob that comes up. And the later, the worse. Like it grows and blows up. Then that's really bad. My advice, choose to be more like Bubsy. Non-confrontational, actually. And to work on yourself for your own good. And your own good of relationships. Whether friendships, acquaintances, workplace stuff, or personal, romantic relationships. Okay, thank you for listening. I hope this helped somebody to see the difference between what means to be non-confrontational and what means to be deceptive, and how these two tend to be mixed up in modern social media and pop psychological takes. Okay.